Welcome to this edition of Indie West Morning.
Welcome.
It is July 2nd.
July 2nd.
Monday.
It's July. That means the summer's well on its way to being past more.
Goodbye, summer.
No,
Welcome, autumn.
We still have like 2 months.
Yeah, I know, but I don't really care. Summer's not that fun. It's really hot. We get all sweaty and just like, shut up. So, today's episode is...
And now, story time.
And the story that we're going to tell is a story about this t-shirt. So last Friday, when we had our episode, I was wearing this shirt, and I said, hey, this episode might do my sandwich eating contest. And so I'm gonna tell the story behind me getting this sandwich eating contest. So,
I've never done an eating contest.
I haven't done very many, in all honesty.
That wasn't your first one?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, wow. The ones with your sisters don't count.
I know. I have 7 of them, so it makes sense. Anyway.
You beat all of them combined. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, easily. I think, anyway, never mind. So, the story is, once upon a time in a far, far land.
Called Colorado.
Colorado! There's a little town called Canyon City. Actually, there's an even smaller town outside of Canyon City called Florence. And that's where me and one of my friends was. So, we were down there visiting some people that we knew pretty good. And so, we were there for this big Pioneer Days thing. I'm not sure exactly when it was. It wasn't July 24th, as some people
would think.
Yes. Anyway, so we were down there for this Pioneer Days, and we were walking around talking with people, and it was pretty awesome. And they had this sandwich eating contest, and I was like, that's interesting. I haven't had anything since like 5 o'clock this morning. We should. I want to do that because I'm kind of hungry, and plus I think I could win. I'm a big guy. I can eat really fast. I'm good. I'd probably demolish these people. And so I took out my wallet, looked up. I was like, oh gosh, I only got $5. And my friend's like, dude, you need to do it. And I was like, I only have $5. She's like, here's the other 5. Just give me the half of your reward. Because first place was $100, second place was $50, and the third place was just like $10. And so he's like, just give me half of whatever you got. Because even if I got third place, I'd still get $5. So entered, got a t-shirt, this t-shirt, and I put it on, and I was like, yeah.
Did you have to put it on?
No. But I was wearing some nicer clothes, like clothes I didn't want to get ruined.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll go ahead and wear this t-shirt. Anyway, so the sandwich was like this big. Like, it was a brick of a sandwich. It was just big. And it was a ton of bread. Like, this much bread. And like this much lettuce, tomato, and meat. And cheese. There was not a whole lot.
So it was a loaf eating contest.
Pretty much. And it was like a hard loaf. Like, you could tell it was like really crunchy. And I was like, man, this is going to be tough. And so they offered us something to drink, either Gatorade or water. I took water because Gatorade, while it is awesome, and I love Gatorade, water for an eating contest, you want water because it's less calories, less sugar. It doesn't fill you up. Fills up like the cracks. It's good. So I went with the water, and so I'm sitting there and I'm like prepping myself for it, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, that guy's my competition. I could see him. He was at another table, and he just looked like he knew what he was doing, and he was just like, and he had Gatorade, and I was like, idiot, you have Gatorade. That's gonna fill you up, and you're gonna feel sick at the end of this. And
you didn't yell that though.
No, I didn't, because that would be really mean, and you can't just be like, you stink, and yell at, what are you doing here? You're like a 12-year-old girl.
And you'd give them the secret to success.
Exactly. And you don't want everyone to, I want water. And then they'd beat me, and that would not be cool. So, anyway, like, I have, my friend and the people that we know, they're all like, yeah, go, Stewart, rock it, eat that sandwich. And so they start, and I'm going, and I'm like, and I took the first bite, and I was like, and it was so tough. Like, the bread was just, like, really hard, and I was just, like, I could not get this down quick. I was like, this is where the water comes in. And I look over, and the guy who I thought my competition was, dude, he had already taken his first thing of Gatorade and opened it up and poured it all over his sandwich and was, like, smishing it down. And, like, got another one and, then, like, poured it on and, like, smishing it. I was like, oh. So that's how he's doing it. But that's got to taste gross. I was like, I'm not doing that with water. And so what I decided to do was rip off a chunk, drink some water, and then I could chew it. And it worked really good that way.
It's barely different.
But it didn't taste like really soggy bread. Like, at least the initial chunk was like, oh, this is a good sandwich. Instead of like, oh, this is really soggy, crummy sandwich. So, started going and we were going for it. And it was going down. And, dude, people just started dropping out. Like, it was ridiculous. One dude, he was sitting there and he's like, I don't feel so good. And I was like, well, get up and go somewhere else and if you want to be sick. And he's like, oh, I'm going to be sick here. He didn't say that, but he did say it because he didn't move. And he stood up and like leaned forward and puked all over his table. And there were like 5 other people at his table. Luckily, like everyone else got their sandwiches out of the way. But still, some people were like, I'm done after that. Dude, one guy did not like move fast enough and got throw up all over his sandwich, and he was like done, dropped it and was like done. I'm not in this anymore. And we're like, well, of course that's really gross. You're not gonna eat a throw up sandwich.
I gotta keep going.
So he dropped out, and so people were dropping like flies. There were only like 4 people left. And I was looking at the one dude who I thought my competition was, who'd taken the Gatorade and dumped it all over. And him and I were like neck and neck, and dude, we were going for it, and we were going for it, and we were getting down. And then I could see him. He was already like sweating, and he was feeling awful, and I still felt pretty good. And then I kept going. Like after a couple, more bites, I started to feel sick. I was like, I don't feel so great. And then.
Then you finished? Then
No. And then I decided to slow down. So I slowed down, and he kept going. And he ended up finishing before I did. And I was there, and I only had a little bit left.
he finished before you?
Yeah, he finished before I did, so he got first place. And then I finished like 2 seconds after him, but I still felt pretty good. And this guy was like ready to throw up. And he was there, and he was just like, yeah, oh, yeah. Like, he was so sick. And I felt pretty good. And I was like, man, I got 2nd place, and I don't feel like I'm going to throw up. This is great. So they went over and they took a picture, like, okay. And then the 3rd place kid, oh my goodness. So it came down to this other guy that was at my table who was like 22, and he had his girlfriend, like maybe fiance, wasn't really sure, and she was cheering for him. Everyone else was cheering for the little kid. They're like, go man, go Tubby. I can't even remember his name, but it was something like Tubby or Chubby. Like, it was ridiculous. And he was just a stout little kid. And the kid stood up, and he was all intense, dude. It was just ridiculous. Just and the other guy's like, and just eating. And, dude, the little kid won. The 12-year-old beat him out. And so the 3 of us, we went off to the side, and they took a picture of us. And the first place guy was just like, and then I was like, yeah. And then the little kid was like, yeah. And it was great. And so we got our prizes. First place got $100. I got $50. And the little kid got $10, and it was to this grocery store.
$10. He just got his money back.
I know, but he didn't lose anything.
Okay.
Anyway, but so it was for the Big D supermarket that was in town, and so it was great. So we split the prize, bought our stuff, and went on our way. It was pretty awesome. And anytime I went back, like, dude, it was crazy. Like, as we'd be walking around town, my friend and I, like, people would be like, hey, you're that kid from Pioneer Days who won who got 2nd place, man. That was awesome. I thought you were going to win it. But you didn't. You got 2nd.
Wow, what fame.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Should probably go back there someday and
Yeah.
reclaim your title.
I think that would be fun. Yeah. Anyway, that's my story for today. It was a pretty fun.
Good story. Makes me feel full, but today's episode has been brought to you by this grocery store. They called us up and they were like, hey, never mind.
No, they haven't. So hopefully we're not stepping on any copyright infringement laws or anything like that.
But we'll see you on Wednesday. Do. I thought you said you won.
Yeah, I didn't.
Why did you say you won?
Honestly, I think I got it mixed up. Which is why I paused. Like, I can't believe I got it mixed up, because that makes no sense. Because why would I have that mixed up? Because I remember only having $25.